Hello everyone, welcome to another session. So this session is going to be a little bit long, but we'll try as much as possible not to make it long. Or let's break it down. So this aspect would we are going to be talking about purchase invoice at this level. Particular process is still around Bibo period group of company. When a need request is being approved by the GM admin, it is sent to the procurement officer to outsource and all that. So if uh, if the if the GM admin is fine with it, then it can then request that you should go and make a purchase order on that, or make a purchase invoice to that. So purchase order is more like a memorandum document that is sent to your suppliers indicating the product you want to buy or that you are interested in. It's just a request, why the supplier's invoice actually shows that sales, or let's say purchase, has actually been done. So it doesn't mean that they've supplied you, but you have agreed on whatever thing. So it serves as if the company is already at that point. The company will be owing the supplier. You understand? So that's what we are going to look at. We are going to look at how purchase invoice is being captured on the system. So now, for us to capture a purchase invoice on the system, we just have to go to the purchase invoice. So go to the purchase invoice. Your purchase invoice can also be created from a purchase order. Yeah, it can actually be created, but we are looking at purchase invoice. So for us to create a purchase invoice, you just need to pick add the purchase invoice. Then you need to select the supplier. It means that the supplier must be created on the system. If the supplier is not created on the system, you cannot raise a purchase invoice. So you have to select the supplier. Let's assume I'm buying from this particular supplier. I just picked any supplier at random. So now by default, the system is requesting that. Now another thing that is important is the date. So when you click this edit posting date and time, when I click this, it allows me to change the date. If I don't tick it, I won't be able to modify the date. So it allows me to change the to modify the date and time. That is the date at which the transaction actually occurred. This date is actually very important because that is what your financials are going to be reading or being analyzed on. If you post a transaction in a wrong date, it means that your financial transactions will definitely be reporting wrong information. So let's assume this transaction is happening on this date. Then also, now we have a due date. You also need to indicate when this supplier had given you, that is, when is this invoice due for payment? Is it supposed to be due for payment in 2 days time, 3 days time, a month's time, and all that, or it is due immediately? So this is how you select. So that is when, and this date is also very important when it comes to the financial aspect for age analysis. So by all records, you are not owing the supplier until this date. That's what it means. So your age analysis will not show that you are owing this particular supplier. So you start owing the supplier, or let me clarify it like this. Your due, what's it called, your outstanding starts counting. Yeah, it starts counting from this due date. let me just use that word. You start counting from this due date. If this due date is not properly set, your age analysis as well might not be correct. Now, we need to reference a need request. Let's assume there was a need request that's supposed to be attached to it. Like in our previous video, we talked about a need request coming from major procurement. So in that regard, if you wish to attach a major need request to it, it means that it will list out all your need requests that are major. You understand? That means that they have their market review completed. So that is why this is there. So like I explained the other time, let me see if I can just open that as a new tab and just come to need request here for us to see what I'm trying to say. So if you look at this was a need request. I think we did this need request the other time. Look at this now. You can see that there's nothing. The only thing that was done here, this market review is completed. So I can actually reference a purchase, reference my purchase invoice based on that need. That is, I'm raising this purchase invoice based on this request that was made by this so person, and there must be a document. So it's like you're attaching the document to it. That's what it simply means. So I'm attaching my need request to it. You understand? So if a situation maybe in future there was discrepancy in document and you need to further investigate, this can actually be used for that purpose. So I can just say, okay, this is for this need request that was raised and that has been approved and all that. So I just click that. I'll click this. This is purchase invoice. We are raising a purchase invoice. So if I don't want to attach a need request, or there was no need request, of course it's not compulsory you attach a need request on the document. If I untick it like this, it means that I'm not going to attach a need request to it. If I take it back now clicking this back, I just need to select now you need to start selecting the item. So these are the details on the need request. I don't know what it could be, but based on whatever that has been listed on your need request, maybe somebody has explained. For instance, if there's sand, it means that sand has to be created. If this is just a service item, it is a service that needs to be rendered to you, maybe maintenance of your equipment and all that needs to be done on the system. It means that when you raise your need request, service of equipment as a maintenance service must also be available here. So you just need to select it. So let's assume this this was sand that was requested. I don't know if there's sand. Okay, now there's sand, aggregate sand, so I can just select this. Now we said it's in tons, or a bit, let's say we need 3 tons or 3,000. So I'll select what is the rate. So I just say 1.5. Just giving an example, please. Just giving an example on this. Then I just pick this and what else. Now notice something. So at the point whereby you are doing that as well, just you will see something. There's still a particular thing you are going to see. Now one of the process around purchase invoice or supplier's invoice, is also called supplier's invoice, as the popular, is that these invoices are being collated. Usually they'll collate all the need requests or all the purchase invoices together. They will pack all of them together and start and pull them together and send it to the GM admin for approval. So it's the same thing that we're trying to do here, but before it can be done, it means that there must be a purchase invoice. This is the purchase invoice that we are raising now. you will see something here called mark detail. So by default, it means that this document is ready to go through collation. That is collating it by the admin. So admins are supposed to collate all the purchase invoice that was raised. So they can have 20, 30 invoices, collate it, then send it to the GM admin for approval. So it's the same thing that we're going to do here. Let's say this now, for instance, we raise a purchase invoice here. Then let's say I had another. I'll just pick some items as random. Let's say this one is 3,000. Let's say this is 990. Okay. Then I just pick this. How many? This is 1,000. So this now, this also goes through a workflow process. So I just click on save. I click on save. This is just for one workflow. This is just one purchase invoice. I just click on make request for payment. You understand? So if I click on make request for payment, me as a user capturing this document, I just say, so let's assume it is procurement responsibility to capture the purchase invoice. I don't know. It could be the function of the admin as well. I still don't know, but there's need for us to click on make payment request. So when you click on make payment request at that level, what the system has done is that you can see it has added another field here called mark for collation. Mark for collation. So it allows you to call up this document. So when you are raising your payment advice on the system, so you are raising your payment advice. So this we have two lines here. I want you to take note of these things. So let's say, I don't know if, okay, there's another document. Let me just raise one more document and change details about it. Then just duplicate this one. I'm not going to give a reference to this. Let me give reference to this. Now I'll pick another supplier here. Now I'm raising two documents now, but these two documents, I'm going to give them different item details. Let me just say this. This is 50. This is let's say 500. Just giving an example, please. So then I just let's just say this as well. This is 2,000. Right, this is at 11,500. Just giving an example. So now this is it. I have all this already here. Then I just click on save. You understand? I click on save. Then also okay, we've not set up. Okay, also if you wish to add VAT, if your suppliers are also charging you VAT, it means that you have to indicate the tax involved as well, so that the system can compute that for you. You understand? So it's also important for you to indicate that on the system. You understand? So that's just it. So let me say I save this. That's all I need to do at this level. So all things being equal, I have my details here, right? I have my details. So we've been able to raise two purchase invoice. That is done. Okay, sorry, it's not done, because if you look at it, I want you to look at something. You can see mark for collation is not yet done. You understand? So we need to have this ticked for collation. That is for our payment advice. We need to collate it for payment advice. That is why this. So if I have to make sure this one is ticked, then how does this one? It just say I should just make request for payments. Click on this and it will automatically tick this for you. So it means this document is ready. for collation. And what do I do after that? I have two documents here now. I have two documents. I have these two invoices. Now, okay, they are the same date, but let's now go. So what I would do is that the document is still here. Then I'll just go to my payment advice. Payment advice. Remember, this process is for Bibo Period Group of Company, and under them they have Bradama, they have Bibo Period International Services Nigeria Limited, like that. So now, so what do I do here? So I need to now do a payment advice. I need to raise a payment advice. I need to initiate a payment advice. So most time this is done by the admin as well. So what their function is that they will collate everything together. I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is Olumide Haino. So I am your ERP consultant. Thank you, and let's move on. So all I just need to do is to click on payment advice. At this level, I click on payment advice. Then I pick a transaction date. Now, you can decide to filter. You can decide to filter by your date. That is, just say, oh, I want all documents, all purchase invoice documents from this date to this date. That is all in January. You should. So all I just need to do is to come down here, and so it will filter only the purchase invoice that falls within these dates. So I just need to select them, and all that. So how did the system know that this is the document? Number one is that it has used the date. That is, this date, if you go and check their transaction date, which is this date, they fall within this date range. Also, they have mark for collation. They have it ticked. So they have it ticked there. So now after this, I just need to click on get purchase invoice details. Is the details that we need. We need the details. So, and what are the details? These are the details. So for instance, this OC Tech, will need the invoice, the supplier's ID, the supplier's name. We will need this data as well. We will need what else? I think we will need what else do we will need this detail line. They have to supply us this, you understand? So we will need all that. So instead of the what's it called, admin guys or admin department start using their normal Excel to sort out what is supposed to be and what is not supposed to be. So this system will automatically give them get purchase invoice details. So it will drop down all the items that falls within this date. It will give them all the items that falls within this date. So if I click on edit now, for example, if I click on edit here, you will see that all the details are there. So all the details that you need is there already at that point in time. You understand? So let me remove this. I don't need this one here. Okay, so all the details needed is there already. What else do I need here? So now at this point, what is expected of the finance for the admin department? What are they supposed to do? You will see that the system will give them the total invoice amount, the total approved amount. As at now, its system still recognize that value as amount, so anybody can edit it, those that have rights to it. So for instance, This is the amount. So after collating, they just need to save. They just need to save. They need to check in details if it actually drops down everything that they actually request. It should drop down everything, and they can actually check the total invoice amount as well to confirm that these are all the things that is actually requested. So all they just need to do is just to click on request admin manager review. Now under the admin department there is admin assistant. So I think the admin assistant is expected to collate all this. Is expected to collate all the then he or she will send it to the admin manager for review. So request admin manager review. Admin manager will pick it up. You can say awaiting admin manager. Admin manager will pick it up to check if all things being equal. You understand? It will check if all things being equal. If he is not satisfied with something, he cannot modify anything here. He cannot modify anything. The best thing for him to do is to send it back, to say return. He will return it to the admin assistant who generated the document. He will return it back to the person. So let's assume he has seen it to say okay, he can make comment as usual. He can make comment on it and all that. So all things being equal, I can say at I've forgotten the names of this lady, so I'll just say okay, I can remember one. Let's say at Ebon. Yes, okay. I can just say at Hebron. Okay. Kindly remove line 3 with 25,000 naira. You understand? I can just save this and say comment. You understand? I'll just save this, and now all I just need to do is to now say return at that point, so that because nobody will be able to edit this. Nobody will be able to edit this point. Now let's assume all things being equal. Then I say reviewed and request GM admin. That is, now the admin manager is satisfied with whatever thing is here. He will just say reviewed and request GM admin approval. You understand? Just say review. Now it goes back to say awaiting GM admin approval. So we'll wait for GM admin to approve it. Now the GM admin sees this, and GM admin looks at it to say okay, each of them, to check the details of these things, it will check whatever thing that is there and whatever that is included, it will enter. Now if for instance GM admin feels that this amount is much, that is for this line, oh, this is much, I can't pay 45 million, you just tick this. So ticking this, it needs, now there is an approved, so automatically when it ticks this, approved amount appears. So you will just put the only person that can tick this thing is the MD and also the GM admin. So we'll tick that to say okay, you can decide to even change the supplier. So I don't want you to use a supplier, use another supplier. He can also do that. Then you can make his comment as well. You can make his comment. If he's satisfied with it, yes, it's approved. So we'll pick the next line as well to see okay, what is here, how much is this, 990,000. If there's anything needs to modify, does it need to modify anything? No. Okay, you will pick there And so if he's satisfied with it, so you can see there's a variance column there showing the difference between the original amount and the approved amount. So all he just needs to do, if he's satisfied with it, so there's a variance total here as well. If he's satisfied with it, he will just save it as well. That is the GM admin will save it as well, then pick it up and say approve and request MD approval. That is, he has approved it and is also going to request the MD approval on that. Let's assume he feels like he should return it. He can actually return it. So it will return it to the GM admin, and the GM admin can then return it to what's it called, the assistant as well. So that's how it works. So if I say approve and request MD approval, I'll click that. Then what else? Awaiting MD approval. This is where the MD would have to look at the document to say, okay, do I have this document? Do I have all these things that I need here? If it is yes, by default, he has both GM admin have approved as yes, but they can change it. So let's assume, because we know that it is few they will want to change, so we don't want to make it empty so that they won't start changing it one after the other. They may have like 100 lines and they might not want to do all that. So it is only what we should look at is, it is only the things they want to change that you just focus on. So everything is approved. If I decide to say no on this, I can just say no. That is, MD is not approving this. So, and it is whatever the MD says that is final. So I'll click on yes. I'll save rather as the MD. So what else? Which other thing? All others are approved, right? Because they have yes ticked. And what else? The MD as well can write comments on this. The MD can write comment on this. So all things being equal, then the action for approve, that is what the MD is going to do. Now immediately the MD approves, watch what happens. I'm going to go back to that document. Now remember, it was only one document, one line, which is this. I think, where is that document that has no? This MD approve is no. That's the only document that is no. So if I go back to my purchase invoice, for instance, now let me refresh. I don't know the document it affected, which of the document, but I know there are two documents, but they are different lines. But let me just, I want to show you something. Now you will notice that, look at this now. You can see the line. So immediately the MD approves that this line, this collation, mark for collation, will be unticked. It means that when next I generate the document, these two will not be available. It means that this two has been sorted out already, so nothing should be done on it again. So if I go back to this purchase invoice as well, let's look at this. Okay, that's OC. So let's say Babatunde Bakri. So look at this now. Look at this now. So I think this is the one the MD did not approve. This one. Oh, it was even the same for the 5,000. Let's see the one the MD did not approve. I think this is the first one. You can see it's the first one, which is this. So the MD did not approve this as well. So it means that you can see that it is the only thing that is not ticked here. This is the only thing that is not ticked. So what then happens at this level? That is what the MD wants to approve, and he has approved it. So the document, which is the payment advice, which is this, Now, the finance guys will get a notification that the MD has approved the payment advice, or maybe is notified that, oh, the MD has approved it. The what's it called? The finance guys also needs to work on a document, so they can actually print this document. They can come here to print this document. So immediately they click here, they will see what the MD has approved. This is the approved payment advice summary. This is the approved payment summary, so they can see the details. That is the supplier. This, so you can see everything. Now it's not listed line by line at this point in time. It's now summed. So it is whatever that is approved that is being summed up to give you whatever amount you are paying. So it means that okay, so now it is now important that, remember, this is the only thing that is not approved yet. Now, why is it not approved? Well, it might be written in the comment section here. It might be written at the comment section. Sorry, where's the need request? It might have been written on the comment section here, stating reasons why it was not approved. You understand? Stating reason why it was not approved. But it is important that that line must be removed from your purchase invoice. It means that that line must be removed for the purchase, or for the purchase invoice. Who does that is what I cannot respond to. So it could be the admin department, it could be the procurement department, and I think, in my own opinion, it should be the procurement department, stating that, oh, the MD did not approve this or that, blah blah blah. So now it needs to remove it. Otherwise, if it is not removed, your purchase invoice is different from your what's it called, need request. Is different from your payment advice document. Payment advice document only make use of the information there to send to the GM for approval, and also send to the MD for approval. After they've worked on it, they tell you the ones they approved and those ones that they don't approve. For those ones that are not approved, it is better to remove them from the invoice. Otherwise, there will be discrepancies between what was actually approved and what is on your invoice. That is what it means. And it will only state that you are owing that supplier. It will only state that you are owing that supplier, because what the what's it called, what finance will make payment on will be what was approved. And finance can even tell you, except the invoice is corrected, you won't be able to approve it. So these are the things that I need to state here, so that you can understand how the document works. So let's go here. Let's go here. I'll do something here as well. So purchase order. Let's assume this was not approved. I can just delete it and save it. That was not approved. Now remember, there are two documents, one for Babatunde. So I've removed that. So hoping that we should have the same value on our payment advice. So so on this one now, I can just say submit submit for payment. Submit for payment. It is different from request for payment. So submit for payment would mean that yes, we are done, we want to submit it for payment. I'll just say submit for payment. Now immediately you click on the word submit for payment, the status changed to unpaid. Mark for collation is unticked. It means that this document is not available for collation again. So there is no way you want to raise a collation on this document again. So the same thing too, I'll pick the other document, which is Ocitec. Was it Ocitec with just okay, now Ocitec. So I'll do the same thing here to say submit for payment. So this document also has been submitted for payment. You can see the collation as marked for now it is now for the finance guys to now make payment. How would the finance guys make payment? So finance guys will now pick this document. They can actually create a payment from here, that is on the purchase invoice. They go back to the purchase invoice and they'll pick this purchase invoice and just say payment. Just make a payment on that. So by the time they make a payment, so the system will then request it can request them to supply the what's it called, the payment advice. It can request them to select the payment advice and all that. So they can select, so they need to know the payment advice that was used as approved document for them to make payment on. If it is important, I don't know if it is important, but if it is important, it means they have to select the document. So when it is then this status as we pay, then so because they have selected that mode of payment, so which bank are they paying from? Let's say Providus, no, not Providus USD. Let's say they are making payment from UBA, Bradama, ACC, whatever. Now after doing that, they'll just come here. They need to come here. The system will automatically show them what they are owing. That is what they are actually owing. But we are not interested in that. We are only paying for that invoice alone. And it is only this invoice that we are making payment on, which is this, which is equivalent to the same invoice that we have. So I can just say this is, I'll just save this. Okay, it's asking for a reference number. Oh, sorry. It's asking for a reference number. So I'll give a reference number to that. Give a reference number to that. So if there is cost center, if this project, if it is for a particular project, I'll pick the project. If for the cost center, I'll pick the cost center. So it is important to indicate all that as well. So I can just save this and say what else and submit it. Yes, I will show you something now. Now this has been submitted. So if you check your ledger at this point, if you check your ledger here, if you check your ledger here, you will see that your creditor was credited. Your creditor's account was debited while your bank was credited. So that is the value on that. So let's go out of here. Let me show you something as well. So if you now check, look at this Ocitec now that we made payment for, you can see that the status is now paid. Is now paid. And remember, we need to also, when after making payment to all of them, let's say I'm making payment on Babatunde as well. I'm making payment to Babatunde as well. I'll just click here, click on Babatunde, then come here, create, and say payment. All things being equal, I've selected the bank. Let's say I select this bank. What else? The amount I'm paying is 990. So that's what is appearing there, and that's all. I just click on save. Okay, sorry. Now upon save, let me just a reference number. This is just a reference number. It can be a check number if you are paying them with a check, or a reference number which is directly from maybe transfer and all that. It's just a reference number to that. Then I just save. Okay, so we want to make payment on this, so I can just submit this to say yes. You understand? So that is submitted as well. So if I go how to check the invoice, you will see that it is paid, not partially paid, fully paid. So I can always see that, and that's all regarding that. Now also, on my payment advice, remember the MD has approved, so at every point in time I can indicate the status of the process. MD has approved, everybody is waiting to see what the status is. That is, the finance guys are supposed to update this status with initiate disbursement. Yeah, so yeah, don't I think because of what we did, okay, anyway, I'll check that. So what the system is supposed to do is to indicate that we initiated a disbursement at that level. So that's what the system is supposed to show us. I noticed something about checking. So that's just that's about that. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. So if you have questions, please let me know. Thank you.